Mario Kart 7, the game that introduced gliding and underwater racing, as well as individual kart parts to the Mario Kart series. This is another one of my favorite Mario Kart games, since, along with those new additions, it has several fun modes, an excellent selection of retro tracks, a nice roster of characters, not counting Honey Queen and the lack of Waluigi, of course, and most importantly, a bunch of very fun racetracks to play on. Today, I'm counting down my top 10 favorite Mario Kart 7 tracks, 5 Nitro and 5 Retro. Rules first, I judge tracks based on how fun, hard, thrilling, clever, etc. they are, and I won't be counting any battle courses. Also, this is only my opinion and no one else's. Alright, enough of this rules crap. Let's go! Kicking off the Nitro list is Daisy Hills from the Mushroom Cup. This track takes place in a little town overlooked by mountains. The only real obstacles are sheep that wander onto the track, as well as some hot air balloons and windmills. Yeah, that's really all there is for obstacles. Ergo, this track is very easy, but like I always say, nice and easy tracks every now and again are a breath of fresh air in Mario Kart. I also really like the serene scenery, background, and music, and I also like the gliding section towards the end, as well as the shortcut right next to it. I know, this isn't much, but it's just plain and simple. If you want 5th place from Daisy Hills, you'll be running for the hills. Daisy Hills. And I'd be running for a time-killing epilogue. Fourth place goes to Music Park from the Flower Cup. It seems like this track takes place in outer space, on a planet filled with musical instruments. For obstacles, it has 2 piranha plants, as well as 2 bouncing notes near the end. Maybe those are the creatures who inhabit the planet. However, difficulty, which this track honestly doesn't have a whole lot of, isn't the reason why I love this track. I love it mainly for the very epic and clever concept of racing on instruments that play as you drive over them, along with the epic scenery and, of course, music. I'm a huge sucker for music, especially video game music, so of course a track inspired by it would appeal to me. There are also a lot of jumps and ramps, which allow racers to perform a lot of tricks, which is always a plus for any Mario Kart track. However, there are a few things. The name Music Park doesn't really make sense, seeing as it's not a park. Maybe they should have called it Music Planet. That'd make more sense, and not to mention, be way cooler. Also, I feel like this track may have been based on Wii music, a certain Wii game we don't discuss. But those small nitpicks don't matter. I love everything about Music Planet, so it easily earns 4th place. No, wait, I meant to say Music Park. Can we start over? Coming in at 3rd place is Woohoo Loop from the Flower Cup. This track takes place on a resort called Maka Woohoo, the setting for Wii Sports Resort. Specifically, racers mainly race around the island. For obstacles, there are driving cars, as well as some random crates and medians, and a few steep drops here and there. Overall, I'd say this track is pretty easy, but the main reason I like it is because of, like Music Planet, Music Park, the concept. Whoever had the idea of turning Maka Woohoo into a Mario Kart racetrack had better have gotten a raise. I also like the music and scenery, along with how it contains sections instead of laps. Its concept may strive for unoriginality. What? But that's no big deal. What is a big deal is that Woohoo Loop loops right into 3rd place. I know, that pun sucked. Don't go loopy on me. Running up is Maka Woohoo from the Star Cup. Like Woohoo Loop, this track takes place on the Maka Woohoo Resort from Wii Sports Resort. However, instead of the island, this one takes place around the outside of the volcano. or I guess mountain if you're from the PAL region. There are quite a few obstacles, including steep drops, sharp turns, mud, falling boulders, and a few more, and with these, it's quite challenging. And while that's certainly a part of the reason why I like it, the main reason is, well, the same as Woohoo Loop. But if you're wondering why I like this one more, it's because of, again, the good challenge, and I really enjoy the shortcuts. No, not the glitch one, and the huge gliding section at the end. I also think the evening sky is more fitting for a good race around the volcano/mountain. Yep, Maka Woohoo definitely earned second place, no matter how much the concept strives for unoriginality. Nitro honorable mentions. 10th place is Piranha Plant Slide from the Star Cup. This one takes place on a water, hence the name, Slide, or hence the PAL name, Pipeway, with the main obstacles being, hence the name again, Piranha Plants. It's quite a good challenge, and sorry, that's the only reason why I like it. Well, I guess the music is pretty clever, and the concept is pretty catchy. No, wait. 9th place is Wario Shipyard from the Star Cup. This one has racers racing on and around several sunken pirate ships. The obstacles are fish bones, wind-blowing pipes, a huge anchor, etc., so it's another good challenge, and it has awesome scenery, but the main reason I like it is because of the very unique, epic, and badass concept of racing on sunken pirate ships. Seriously, the Wario Bros never cease to amaze me with their racetracks. 8th place is Mario Circuit from the Flower Cup. Like most other Mario circuits, this one takes place in a huge grassy field, with obstacles such as Goombas and pipes. However, what sets this one apart is Peach's Castle. Instead of it just being a backdrop, it's part of the actual track, meaning you can drive inside it. I also really like the gliding section near the end, as well as the music, and those pink pedals. Look, I really had to swallow my pride to say that. My dignity's on the floor right now. 7th place is Rosalina's Ice World from the Special Cup. Like Music Park, this one takes place in outer space, but on a snowy planet owned by Rosalina. It has many obstacles, like penguins, steep drops, sharp turns, and upside-down icicles, making it a really challenging track. I also like it because of the nice and serene scenery and music. Last but not least, 6th place is Rock Mountain from the Flower Cup. Kinda like Maka Woohoo, this one takes place around a mountain, with the obstacles being swoopers and, fittingly, falling boulders. It's not terribly challenging, but I enjoy it because it's a nice and simple track with natural scenery and excellent music, which you're listening to right now. I also really like the gliding sections. Number 1 is none other than Rainbow Road from the Special Cup. Even a blind person wouldn't have an excuse for not seeing this one coming. As per usual, racers race on a long, rainbow-colored road, but this is definitely not your average Mario Kart Rainbow Road. Like Music Park and Rosalina's Ice World, it takes place in outer space, but unlike those two, it takes place on several different planets, in addition to the road. These include moons, a huge spiral, a slide, and my personal favorite, Saturn's asteroid belt. There are also numerous gliding sections, ramps, bumps, and jumps, which allow racers to perform a lot of tricks. As for difficulty, the obstacles include several sharp turns and steep drops, along with huge asteroids, bouncing chain chomps, and more. You know what that means, right? Very challenging track, which I would expect nothing less of from a Rainbow Road. Also, the music is amazing, the scenery is astonishing, and I like that, like the Maka Woohoo tracks, it contains sections instead of laps. And finally, the concept of racing not just in, but throughout outer space is extremely clever. To sum all this up, this track is perfect in every aspect. There's not one thing I dislike about it, and for that, Rainbow Road is easily my number 1 favorite Mario Kart 7 Nitro track of all time. It's also my favorite Rainbow Road in the entire Mario Kart series. Kicking off the retro list is Waluigi Pinball from the Banana Cup, originally from DS. Racers race inside a huge pinball machine, with the main obstacles being, fittingly, pinballs and bumpers. Overall, I'd say this track really isn't that challenging, but you know what it is? Epic AF. The music, the scenery, the sound effects, the obstacles, the ramps, the jumps, the dash panel placements, and especially that huge launch at the beginning, are all very awesome and, again, epic. They all come together to make an extremely extreme Mario Kart racetrack. Sometimes, that's all it takes for a track to be likable, regardless of how challenging it is. or isn't. If it's epic enough, it's very likable. But despite all this good stuff, there's one thing I just can't get my head around. Waluigi Pinball made it into Mario Kart 7, but Waluigi didn't? What kind of cockamamie bullshit is this? But forget about that. With all the epicness it boasts, Waluigi Pinball is easily my 5th favorite Mario Kart 7 retro track. Seriously, for the underdogs they are, the Wario Bros have some good representation in the Mario Kart series. Well, except for Waluigi's absence in this game. Fourth place goes to Coconut Mall from the Banana Cup, originally from Wii. This track takes place in Dumbbell, a mall. Except for a few Miis driving cars at the end, it doesn't necessarily have any real obstacles, just some sharp turns here and there. Yeah, this track is a pretty easy one, but like I've said before, sometimes nice and easy tracks in Mario Kart are kinda nice. I also like the huge jumps near the end, which are now gliding sections, along with the shortcut through the store at the beginning. I also like the scenery and especially the music, along with the clever concept of racing through a mall. And side note, all the little Mii cameos are pretty cool. And another side note, I like that you can now trick off the escalators. Sorry, that's all I have to say about this track. I really wish I could say more, but I just can't. Coconut Mall is nice and easy enough to be my 4th favorite Mario Kart 7 retro track. This mall better have a sale for time-killing epilogues somewhere. Coming in at 3rd place is Maple Tree Way from the Leaf Cup, originally from Wii. Again, this track takes place in a forest village in autumn, with a good amount of obstacles. These include plenty of sharp turns and steep drops, huge wigglers that can sometimes be annoying as all hell to avoid, and piles of leaves, which sometimes contain harmful items. In other words, it's pretty darn challenging. However, this is just the tip of the iceberg. This track has outstanding scenery and music, and a very clever and unique concept for a Mario Kart racetrack. It's also really fun, since there are a lot of places where tricks can be performed. I also like the leaves that fall in the background, as well as the barrel cannon launch at the beginning. And side note, the shortcut at the start, and the new gliding sections. To sum up why I like Maple Tree Way, it's fun, unique, and a good challenge, but overall, it's just a very brilliant track. That's all there is to why it's my 3rd favorite retro one. Running up is Mushroom Gorge from the Shell Cup, originally from Wii. Once again, this track takes place in a mountainous region with several mushroom trampolines, which racers must jump across to proceed. As for obstacles, the main ones are all the steep drops, along with a few Goombas at the end. This track isn't really easy or hard, it's got a good balance of both. Although, if I had to pick one, I'd say it's a tad bit more easy than hard. I love this track because it's very fun, since bouncing across the mushroom trampolines is a huge rush, and not to mention, tricks can be performed off them. It's also very unique, since, to my knowledge, no other Mario Kart race tracks have mushroom trampolines. Also unique and clever is the concept, since I don't think any other Mario Kart track requires racers to proceed by jumping rather than simply driving. And side note, the new gliding section. For all of these reasons, Mushroom Gorge easily earned 2nd place on the retro list. Retro honorable mentions. 10th place is Luigi's Mansion from the Shell Cup, originally from DS. This one takes place both inside and in the courtyard of, hence the name, Luigi's Mansion, with a few obstacles including walking trees, mud that lessens traction, and a few sharp turns. This track is quite easy, but nonetheless is just plain fun to race on, and the music and scenery are pretty epic also, and I like the new gliding sections too. 9th place is DK Pass from the Leaf Cup, originally from DS. This one takes place in a winter wonderland and has a few fitting obstacles, including snowmen and huge snowballs, which knock racers back pretty far, and also the typical lack of traction due to snow. I like it because it's a good challenge, and the music is pretty catchy. Also, a couple side notes, I prefer this version over the original DS one because of the smoother controls, along with the new gliding section, and the snowfall clearing up as the race progresses concept returning from Wii's DK Summit. 8th place is Dino Dino Jungle from the Lightning Cup, originally from Double Dash. As the name implies, this race takes place in a jungle filled with dinosaurs. For obstacles, it has several sharp turns and pitfalls, along with geysers and dinosaurs. Well, one huge dinosaur, all of which are hard, yet vital to avoid. Unless you'd rather lose, of course. This one is very challenging and therefore fun, and it's quite unique as well. I also like the new gliding sections. Again. 7th place is Koopa Cape from the Lightning Cup, originally from Wii. 4 for 4 on Wii. This is an aquatic Mario Kart track. It has quite a few obstacles, including Goombas, steep drops, sharp turns, and these electric wheel things near the end. There are also a lot of jumps and ramps, which allow racers to perform a lot of tricks, which is always a plus for any Mario Kart track. It also has some nice scenery and really catchy music, along with, once again, the new gliding section. Last but not least, 6th place is Daisy Cruiser from the Leaf Cup, originally from Double Dash. Racers race on Daisy's cruise ship. For obstacles, there are several sliding tables, which can be annoying as all hell to avoid. This one's really fun to race on, and also a bit challenging, and I really like the concept of racing on a cruise ship. I also like that you can now drive inside the pool. Number 1 is none other than Airship Fortress from the Lightning Cup, originally from DS. Geez, 4 for 4 on DS too. This track takes place in a huge fortress in the sky, as well as on an airship. It has several obstacles, including bullet bills, rocky wrenches, crates, and rocket engines. There are a lot of each of these obstacles, and therefore, this track is quite a challenging one. But apart from that, it's similar to Waluigi Pinball in that it's extremely epic. Not only is it a good challenge, but it also has awesome scenery and music, and the concept of racing on an airship is very clever, innovative, and extreme. Again, it also reminds me a lot of the airship boss levels from Super Mario Bros. 3. Because it was inspired by those levels. This track has everything: difficulty, excellent scenery and music, an awesomely clever and original concept, and it reminds me of a very nostalgic Mario game. And side note, I love the cannon that launches you back to the fortress near the end. In simpler terms, it's just epic as hell. With all this going for it, Airship Fortress is easily my number 1 favorite Mario Kart 7 retro track of all time. So there you have it, my top 10 favorite Mario Kart 7 tracks of all time. For more videos like this, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Also, please check out my social media. All links are in the description. 7 thank yous for watching, guys. See ya next time. Mikoro Glyscore 472, out.